upgrade time. Going to be working on the outdoor 124 or 118 or whatever the scale is here. It's the micro crawler. So let me turn around here and let you see what I've got done so far. Alright, so what we've got is, let me get down here a little bit, there we go. We put in some new shocks. It gives it a little better travel. We do have a lot of limitations here on this little guy here. So I got it turned upside down. Just look at the control arm there on the steering. Watch where it hits. Right there on the chassis rail. Let me see if we can get a better view here. So go on the side right here. Just watch. See where it just smacks right there. So this side over here has got a lot more travel, but this side over here is very limited because of that. So we're gonna have to be working something out for that eventually. Maybe I'll 3D print something to go on there on the axle to hold the steering servo. I don't know yet. We'll have to figure that one out. Okay, and then in the back, this one I think I've done this trick before to my barrage. This is the battery tray, and you can basically turn this upside down, but look what you got here. You got not even half travel on those shocks. Now granted, you don't need all that travel in the world, especially on these little guys, but it would definitely be nice. I think it would be very beneficial. So let me just take you over here and show you the SCX24. So as you can see, there's nothing in the way of the travel, as you can tell. I mean, they get full travel, a little sticky, but full travel. In the front, we do have, let me turn this thing off here, it's going to blind everybody. In the front here, you do have a little bit of issue, not much, where the servo itself will go in between the chassis rail. But then you have this little knuckle piece over here that will hit if you go that far. That's a pretty decent amount of travel, so I never worry about it. And to be honest with you, this little guy here does great. So what we're going to do, let me show you this other one here. So here's another setup I have here. This is a little bit different. The SX24 kind of a setup. It's very similar in the front, but not as much shock travel. And as you can see, the tray itself hits a little bit on the rails. So eventually we're going to be working on this one, but for right now I'm leaving it alone. Now that's the rear. Here is, let's see, I think it's this is the front. The front has a whole lot more travel. So the rear, now this is my 4-wheel steer rig. It basically is hitting, let's see where it's hitting at. Can't really tell exactly where. I can just feel it hit. It looks like it's hitting down here where these screws are out on the inside. It looks to be about where it's hitting at. We'll work on that one later. But what we're going to do is going to take these 3 trucks, show you some of the other ones too. So you got the 3D printed one. Again, nothing's binding that from getting full travel as well. We already know how good that truck is, so we're going to leave him alone. The Barrage is going through a whole bunch of different upgrades, trying to figure out a better suspension setup on it, as well as I'm trying to work out a solution to the speed jump that you get on this ESC without replacing it. I know I could go to a Fury Tech or whatever, but those are expensive. These are little bitty models. I'd like to find a cheaper version and a cheaper fix. That way, it's not so expensive on everybody. So still working on that one. This is my other little build that's a lot like the Barrage, my RGT type build, C24 or whatever, the Hobby Plus. As you can see, it's got a little bit better travel there. It does eventually hit, but it's right at the bottom of the spring, so I never worry about that one either. And then on the bottom here, on the front side, you can see, again, it will hit, but everything's bottoming out. So that's something similar to what I want to do with the Endura AWS or whatever the hell they call that damn model. So basically, this guy here, as you can see, it now has a little bit of movement side to side, kind of like the 24. Not quite as fluid, but it's getting better. and this guy here is a little more stiff, kind of like this guy. So what we're going to do is we're going to drive over some tires here. I want to see the flex on everything and kind of show the difference. So we're going to start off with this guy, then we'll go to this guy, then we'll go to him. So let me quit yapping here, and we'll get things rolling. So I'm going to do this little one-handed, so bear with me here. And basically I'm just looking for flex. I don't really care about anything else. Okay. So one tire up, no other tires off the ground. It's got decent flex. Alright, so we're going to take out this tire here because I want to see what the flex is on that one. So if we can get up on that one, I want to see if it'll create another issue. Oh, okay, so it flipped over right there. So that might be a little bit much. Let's try it one more time just to be certain. Make sure it wasn't just my fat fingers doing something stupid. No, you see how much it's getting up off the ground there, and it's still got quite a ways to go. Yeah. Okay, so that one, it always does fantastic, you know, but these are small rigs, guys. They're not going to be what you got with your big 10 scales or whatever. So let's get this guy up and rolling here. I think it takes this receiver or remote, I believe. I'm not sure. Oh, no, it does not. I remember which one it takes now. It takes the RGT. So let me grab my RGT down here. Get him power up. Okay, so that's steering servo reversed. There and there. Okay, we want everything straight. I'm not worried about four-wheel steer right now. Again, we're just trying to check the flex here. Okay, easy on that, right? Now, this is probably going to go up, but I just want you to see the side. So it does have the whole front off of the ground. Okay, and it will hold its own there, but it pulls up the back wheels there. Now, there is a reason why this does so good and the other one does not. Let me show you the reason. So, if you look, this one is much shorter than the other one. The tires aren't as tall. The profile is lower. So this one here, I've got my weight and stuff better centered, I would imagine. I don't have I don't have any weights on this one here. This one actually this one doesn't have weights either. I thought this one had weights on it, but I guess I took them off of this one. The weights are probably on the 3D printed truck now. So I still have some work to do on this, and what my next plan is going to be for this guy is I want to get some softer I don't know if I want some softer springs on that. I don't know. We'll work on that one later. That's not about this video. So this one here, the reason why it does so well is two things. So it's got the low profile, and then if you look at the shock location, see how it's bent backwards, and that one's bent forward. Well, look at this one. This one's straight up and down. So I have not moved shock locations on this one yet. I had thought about it, but in order to do that, I got to bring it way down here, which I don't really want to do. So I'm kind of thinking about putting something over here to do something similar, but I haven't gotten that far. So that is those two. Let's turn this little guy off here. Alright, now we get to see what the RGT will do, or RGT Enduro, whatever this thing's called. They have so many of the same models with some of the different names and stuff. So hold on a second, let me grab the other remote. Alright, now I should have done this before I changed the shocks, but you can watch plenty of videos that I have with this truck running indoors, outdoors. You'll see it's kind of stiff. So what I got going on now seems to be a little bit better. That's kind of what I'm wanting to see. So you got both front wheels off the ground, but it is starting to flex a little bit on this side over here. So let's see if, because I brought the profile of the truck down some, it doesn't stand up so tall. Let's see if that actually helps it out. Okay, it seems to be helping it out quite a bit actually. So it's basically like this little red guy right here, little Sandyland. So it's basically going to behave a lot like that, but I want to show you guys something too. So if you look very closely, let me see if I can get a flashlight here real quick. Okay, if you look real closely here, you can see where this light is shining at. You will see right up there on this arm, see where it's hitting the chassis rail? That's the reason this is not flexing more. So that is what I'm trying to fix. Eventually I will figure it out, but for now, it's just going to have to do. We're going to test it out on some rocks and stuff outside. And so far it's been doing really good at the concrete plant that I work at. We pour leftover concrete, which in turn turns into these big massive pieces, and some small, some big. We run them over, blah blah blah. So I got some good areas that are starting to form with you know, big channels that make up nice little hill climbs. And I also have, you know, some decent areas where it's, you know, rock type features where I could crawl over. This one actually did pretty decent. So I was really impressed with the stock form of it. And of course these tires are hard as hell. We will be doing something with those, but for now we're going to leave them alone for right now. Eventually these are going to be doing something else. These right here is more what I'm looking for. They're softer. But I can also put some weights on this guy too and see how it goes. So so far so good. This is the first round of upgrades. What we're going to do is we'll do a test and tune, see how well it performs, what other changes we might need to make, and go from there. So appreciate you guys watching, and stay tuned, and we'll just keep tuning on this guy here until we get it right. See if we get anything extra out of him or not. Kind of put it in a little bit of a bind, kind of see the flex on them. Alright, there's a little more of what I wanted to see. It does give it a little bit more articulation, I'll say. But this truck has a few issues with that anyway. Try this out and see how well it does.